The American Scholar, in-depth detailed summary. Introduction. The Call for an American Mind. Ralph Waldo Emerson delivered The American Scholar in 1837 at Harvard's Phi Beta Kappa Society. At that time, American education and thought were heavily dependent on European models, especially English and German philosophy. Emerson boldly argues that this intellectual dependence must end. He announces the birth of a new American intellectual, someone who thinks independently, trusts personal experience, and lives in harmony with nature. This essay later earned the title America's Intellectual Declaration of Independence. Central idea of the essay. Emerson defines the true scholar as a whole human being, not a mere bookworm or academic machine. The scholar should think for himself, learn directly from life and nature, combine thought with action, serve society morally and intellectually. He warns that over-reliance on books, institutions, and tradition turns people into parrots of other men's thinking. 1. The scholar and nature. Emerson says nature is the scholar's first and greatest teacher. Key points. Nature reveals universal truths directly to the human soul. When a person observes nature deeply, they discover laws of life and morality. Nature connects the individual mind to the universal mind, what Emerson often calls the oversoul. Nature teaches unity. Man is not separate from the world, but part of it. The scholar should not study nature mechanically like a scientist only collecting data, but spiritually and intuitively, allowing nature to awaken original thought. The scholar and books. Books are valuable but dangerous if worshipped blindly. Emerson's balanced view. Books are the best of things, well used, abused among the worst. They preserve the insights of great minds from the past. However, reading should inspire thinking, not replace it. The problem. Many scholars become second-hand thinkers. They quote instead of creating. They treat books as sacred authorities rather than tools. Key point. Every age must write its own books. Emerson insists that the scholar must read actively, questioning and reinterpreting ideas in the light of personal experience. 3. The scholar and action. This is one of Emerson's most radical claims. Action is essential for true knowledge. Why action matters? Life itself is the real teacher. Without action, thought becomes weak and abstract. Work, struggle, and interaction with society refine the intellect. The scholar must not isolate himself in libraries. Farming, trading, traveling, teaching, all forms of work deepen understanding. Key point. Only so much do I know as I have lived. 4. The problem of the divided scholar. Emerson criticizes modern society for creating fragmented individuals. One person thinks, another works, another rules. This division turns scholars into specialists, not whole human beings. He calls instead for the man thinking, a person who unites thought and labor, mind and body, knowledge and morality. 5. Self-trust and intellectual independence. The heart of the essay is self-reliance. Emerson urges the scholars to trust personal intuition, speak unpopular truths, reject blind conformity, be courageous and original. True scholars should not fear being misunderstood. History proves that all great thinkers were initially opposed. 6. The scholar's social responsibility. The scholar is not meant to be distant from society. Emerson's vision. Scholars must be leaders and guides. They must uplift moral values. They should challenge injustice and corruption. A scholar who lacks moral courage is useless, no matter how intellect. Conclusion. The future of America. Emerson ends on a hopeful, prophetic note. America is ready to produce original thinkers. The age of limitation or imitation is ending. A new generation of self-reliant scholars will rise. Key point. The scholar must become free, brave, creative, and morally strong. Key themes. 1. Intellectual independence. 2. Self-reliance. 3. Unity of thought and action. 4. Nature as teacher. 5. Critique of blind book learning. 6. Scholar as moral leader.